cheese logo, she's talking earlier about how I have a jar of stuff, the whey she's talking about. Back here, the chicken in the middle, it's eating what's left over, which basically is the cheese, but it's very healthy, and it's healthy for the chickens, the guts, and the ground, everything. So we feed the leftovers to that, but we keep the whey, and we use it to spray on our contaminated grounds and all. And just, if you look at it and study that, the benefits of that is just crazy. To the left right there is our fermented fish. So when we butcher our fish, whatever, we keep the carcasses, and we'll put brown sugar on them. We'll make a FAA, which is fermented fish amino acids, which is very healthy. It's basically the same thing as if you eat Chinese food and you put the stuff on it. It's basically the same thing, but it's very, very healthy, and I incorporate that back into my system because it's full of microbes and things. And then we do our own biochar off the place and all, which we incorporate into our beds and all that holds the nutrients. Plus, if you had a bad case of poisonous ground, you can control it and absorb it up, pull it out by using biochar. So that's some of the things that we produce. Now, the biochar will come out of our greenhouse, but all the other stuff does. Biochar is part of what we use in our greenhouse for microbes and stuff. Okay, now let's to our fish. We produce fish out of things, which that's our protein along with our vegetables, because this is about eating and feeding ourselves, and things go down, you can't go to the grocery store and all, we gotta supply our own food. Where the fish side of it is our protein. So out of the fish, we come out with the fish fillets and duckweed and different things. And right here, this picture here is our fish eggs. We'll pull the eggs from the tilapia. Tilapia will lay her eggs, the male will fertilize them, she'll pick them back up with her mouth and keep them for a week or two until they turn into babies, and then she'll keep them for a couple of days in her mouth, and she releases them. We'll take her out, we'll milk them out of her mouth, and we put it in this thing tumbles, these eggs are sitting there doing this all the time, and we'll hatch them, and then we'll put them over to another tank, and we graduate them out until we put them into our system. So we got a continuous supply of fish, we never run out. So protein, it produces fish waste fertilizer, which is our solids that we don't want in our system. And once we run our water off that, and we got a sludge left. Right here, the center picture at the bottom, that's our sludge, that's our solids. Once we're done with it, it comes out. We'll take that and make that our outdoor and outside fertilizer. Right now, we're in the middle of doing a test for hay field. So far, testing on the hay field there, we get an inch per month more growth of using this on the spot than we are on the rest of the ground. And we can put other things on the other parts of the ground and all, but this right here is by far outgrowing everything by 1 inch a month. So in 4 to 6 months, you're going to have another 6 inches of grass. Plus, it rebuilds the soil too. It puts the microbes back in the soil, it makes it rich, puts more moisture and all. It just improves it greatly. The rig test tube there is yes.
Can you put that sludge on in like your garden bed, not your aquaponic bed?
No, your garden bed outside, your flower beds, everything outside your fruit trees. We'll take that outside to it. And we'll dilute it down from that. I mean, that's like oil right there. We'll dilute it down. And just about everything I got here, when you dilute it, 1 part to 1,000 in water. So if it's 1 gallon, you're going to mix it with 1,000 gallons of water. 1 quart, 1,000 quarts. 1 teaspoon, 1,000 teaspoons is how this stuff works out. So you produce an amount like that right there, you've got thousands of gallons of input. And this is out of a 1,000 square foot system that we're talking about right here. It's really not that big of a system for what it produces. The test tube there with the red in it, that's our test, that's the plant food. That's our nitrates and ppms, and that's 40 ppms, which is about right. We can go higher if we really want to push this thing and make this thing grow like crazy. But if you get to the higher level like that, you ain't got much room for failure. If you go over the line, you're going to crash. When you crash, you're starting all over. This ain't too low. I could go a little bit lower on this, but this is a happy medium for me. So it's at 40 parts per million nitrates. So that gives you room to go the way, but your plants will do good at that, and fish do good at that, the bacteria does good at that. If you get too much in there, or too much ammonia in there, it'll kill your bacteria. So there's a, there's that line, that balance we gotta keep an eye on. But that right there is a good example of what we're looking for whenever you're testing for nitrates and all. These tanks up in the top corner over there, this is the fertilizer for the hay fields that we're producing. There's like 1,200 gallon right there that we produced, and we put it on a hay field for the first time, not just my test, but at a farmer's field, and we've seen good results with it. That tank in the bottom of the corner there, that's our mineralization tank, that big white tank I showed you the plans where to go. It's the same thing as that. Our sludge and our wastewater goes in there, it gets aerated with air. In 7 days, we'll pull the water off, and we use the water either outside or I put it back in my system, and then the sludge is what we. Thank you very much. There again, I got ahead of us a little ago, but the outside plants, we can do flowers in it. And we get them started and going. We take one bed and just broadcast it, and the flowers that you big, we pull them out in the bottom, and then we can take them to farmers markets. You want to do vegetables the same way, you just broadcast them in the bed, and I'm telling you, within 1 or 2 days, they are up. They're traveling. As long as I got a heater on my water. My water stays year round. I try to keep it in the 70s. And this time of the year, it's a little hard. This thing you got to do is circulating on to keep it down. But in the 70s, everything produces very well. The microbes, the bacteria, everything thrives at that. We do elderberries, and elderberries is a money maker. So to keep the lights on and generate funds, we plant things like that to take to the farmers market and sell. But you can utilize this thing for your farmers markets and take and still eat out of it at a 20 by 24 square foot facility. It's 480 square feet. That's big enough to go to the farmers market and feed a family of 4. This is some of our pictures of what we produce in it for our farmers markets. The year-round production is so year-round we'll have tomatoes in there, and yearly we'll have cucumbers in there. Our staple, and what I like to say, like just picture a salad. Everything it takes to make a salad, we pretty much keep in the greenhouse year-round. So we get radishes, and we do onions in it, we do chives. But we do a lot of medicinal herbs also, a lot of medicinal herbs. And we use the herbs to make salves and tinctures and things like that and all. And that's a year-round thing that we do out of the greenhouse, which is another area. This is one of our greenhouses here in the wintertime. You see the ice and all on the ground. And if you go to the inside, it's tropical inside. So you can, it can be raining and snowing, ice and whatever, and you can still be out there in your shorts playing with the plants, man. That's really satisfying. And I'll tell you, wintertime is easier growing than summertime. People think heating the greenhouse is the problem, cooling the greenhouse is the problem. In the wintertime, it can be 20 degrees outside, but if the sun's shining like that, you pull the heat out. You get it out. I can do a much better job growing vegetables and tomatoes. I can grow tomatoes better in January and February than I can in August and July. It's a challenge right now. Fodder, duckweed, and beets. Which means we do this up here. Fodder, duckweed, and beets is what we use to feed our farm with. We can, this is duckweed that's been dried out. I've got one bed dedicated to growing nothing but this. Duckweed produces 24 hours it reproduces. You can take as much of it out as you want, as long as you leave 50% of it, tomorrow it'll all be back again. It grows quick. So what we do is we use it to scoop it out, put it in the bottom of a tub with about 8 much water, and let that water evaporate down, and it dries out, and I scrape it up. This is what I end up with when I scrape it out. So this is that green duckweed that's dried out. I take mango beets. I plant mango beets outside in my garden. If you got a row of mango beets, 75 foot long, you'll have about 1,000 pounds of beets at harvest time. The mango beet gets, well, as I said, they get them 6 foot. I'm only 2 foot, about as I got one, but they'll weigh 15, 20 pounds. So we'll take the mango beets and we use our fertilizer out there to grow them. And we'll take the beet and we'll run it through a chipper, like a wood chipper. And we shred it up and we let it dry out. And when it dries out, we take our dried duckweed and mix in it. And after we get that mixed in there, what you got is your duckweed is 37, 36% protein, pretty close to 40. There's a lot of different ideas of how much it is, but duckweed is something that we can eat. If that's all we had to eat, we could survive because the minerals and the vitamins and protein in that duckweed is high. So we get our protein and minerals out of our duckweed. We get our sugar and our fiber out of the beets. We take that, we mix it all together, we run it through a pelletizer. You see that the green pelletizer up here you can buy, and we run it through a pelletizer like it right there, which creates the pellets. Now you get different size. This size is perfect for goats. You get a smaller one, we can use it for chickens. So we produce our chicken and our goat feed out of our system, which used to, a lot of this was waste. You throw it away.